The NFL Week 6. We are back with Noah and Teddy. Jeff could not make it again this evening, but he will be on the next show. I guarantee.
Having two newborns, man. Two new kids on the roster.
Yeah. Guarantee he'll be. Oh yeah, and then Zaka will be back next week.
Oh, it is next week.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm gonna have to put in several hours to redo this whole graphic. Is that what you're telling me?
No, well, if Jeff's not here, it'll be the same.
That'll work.
Next man up mentality.
Right, exactly. All right, so yeah, just don't put Jeff's. Well, you already made it before. Well, we have the college football one. Just don't put Jeff's picture, and it's easier for me to crop so that I can put the pictures in the. Unless do whatever you have to do. I don't care.
We'll see. We'll
whatever
see.
you have to do. Yeah, whatever you'd rather do, go for it. I'm not editing it, so you can tell me to fuck off. Okay, so recap of last week. Week 5. So Noah's week 2 was the biggest farce. He's been on fire. 6-2-1 last week, 23-15-1, 61%. His 2-3-1 on locks because the Packers pushed. Teddy last week, 2-5-1, 22-22-1, 50%, 2-3 on locks. Jeff, 5-1-1, 29-25-1, 54%, 1-3-1 on locks for the year. He also had the Packers. And then I went 4-3, 23-15, 61%, and 3-1 on locks. So technically 2 weeks in a row, we went undefeated again. Because me and Teddy had the Titans, and then Noah and Jeff had the Packers. Before we get into anything, well, actually, I guess we can kind of all tie it into together. Teddy, if you wanted to start with your player of the week, performance of the week, worst performance of the week, or I guess loser of the week, whatever you want to call it, and then if there's anything else you wanted to add in for discussion of last weekend's game, any points you wanted to make.
Yeah, so I mean, last week was great. I would have to say for player of the week, I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. Down 16 in the fourth quarter, leading his team to come back, tie it up, and then win in overtime. What do you have, 440 yards, 4 touchdowns?
442, 4 touchdowns.
Obviously, he can throw the ball, and he's still the best running quarterback in the game. So having him be able to just tear you apart in the air, and then also in the run game, you can't really stop it. I mean, he's possibly going to have 5,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards, which is unbelievable to think about.
Unbelievable.
17-game season. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, all right. Well, still, I mean, that's still impressive. I think they're 4-1 now, which I really feel it's weird that the Ravens are 4-1. They're a quiet 4-1 team, in my opinion.
I agree.
So got to give it to him. He's going to be up for the MVP race, even though he already won one. But I'd love to see him do it again and get that massive contract at the end of the year. And then I'll go with the Chargers for my best performance of the week. Winning it in the shootout at home against the Browns, a very, very good football team. I was very sick about it because I did have the Browns. Obviously, I'm sure, Noah, you are excited about it. They had 26 points in the fourth quarter, which is absolutely insane going back and forth. The Browns, I think it was 5-6 different lead changes. I mean, their run defense is a little shaky, but they are 4-1. They have a very favorable schedule coming up. They have the Broncos, Bengals, Chiefs, and Raiders, and I think that's the only people they're going to really have troubles with. If not any troubles, everyone else are going to run the table on. So they're looking good for the rest of the season. So I like to see that. Worst performance, I have to go with the Lions. It was just a disaster. I feel so bad for them, losing again on a 50-something yard field goal in the last seconds. I was watching it with my neighbor who was a Lions fan. Unbelievable heartbreak as I was watching the Eagles win. He was watching the Lions lose. So it was tough, but I have to give it 0-5. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of hope, a lot of injuries. So worst performance goes to the Lions. And then I would also like to say I could have been 5-2 and 1, but in a matter of 10 minutes in that 4 p.m. slate, I got rocked. But that's why they play 4 quarters.
Yep. Yeah, no, I also had Lamar. definitely thought he was player of the week. I have a feeling I know who Noah's player of the week was. So you can take that away, Noah.
Well, I don't know if you could guess this or not, but my player of the week was Justin Herbert.
Oh,
You can give me all the rah-rah you want about Lamar Jackson. He did have a very good game, but Justin Herbert threw for nearly 400 yards, threw another 30 on top of that in rushing, 5 total touchdowns. The Browns have a much better defense than the Colts. They're just a much better team. So the fact that you go out, throw 47 points on them, come out with the win against one of the best teams in the NFL. It was just all around just an impressive team win, but Herbert, that was pretty much a statement game for him, saying that, hey, I'm a top 3 quarterback in this league. It's him, it's Patrick Mahomes, and it's Josh Allen. My performance of the week my performance of the week. Let me pull it up here.
it's
God,
the LA Chargers.
Yeah, no, sorry.
People are not going to listen anymore if you keep saying the
I was
Chargers.
about to say, like, wait, it's not the Chargers. I had somebody else. Performance of the week is the Buffalo Bills. They went into Kansas City and they took care of business. They were my dog of the week last week. I said that they could have won this game, and not only did they win this game, they dominated this game. It wasn't even close the entire time. Chiefs might be in the middle of a down year. I kind of hinted at that a little bit last week as well. But, you know, anytime we can go into Kansas City and beat a team like that, incredible. Worst performance of the week. I almost want to say the Colts for blowing that lead. I almost want to say the Vikings for almost blowing that lead, and they could have been the first team to actually win this award and come out with a win. But I have to go with the kickers. Just all of the kickers in the NFL. There was an insane amount of missed field goals. There was an insane amount of missed extra points. I can't remember the last time I've seen all these misses. Like, it was just every single game. Mason Crosby, are you kidding me? You missed 3 field goals in the fourth quarter, and then what's his face? McPherson missed 2. Like, there was 5 missed field goals within like an 8-minute stretch since the last 2 minutes of regulation. Insane. And Crosby missed a extra point early in that game too. So I got to go with kickers' worst performance.
Yep, Blankenship missed an extra point and got a field goal blocked and missed the game-winning field goal in regulation. Brutal.
Honestly, it's smart to them. Like little kickers union. If they all suck at once, no one can get replaced.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, no one left town without a job this week, just because they all sucked. So
yeah. So all of mine were touched on. Lamar Jackson, player of the week, 442 and 4 touchdowns. Why I would have, Herbert was obviously incredible. Lamar Jackson, I think what he's done with that offense, they're very shorthanded on offense and defense. He's kind of put the team on his back, I think, is just something that, that I really like to see out of him so far this year. And he has a huge test this week against the Chargers, are not the Colts, obviously, and we'll get into that. That's actually the first game we'll talk about. Best performance, the Bills, for everything Noah said. I was wrong about the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs last week. We just have to all rewire our brains to see that they're just not as good anymore. They're not a dominant team. Patrick Mahomes can still put up a ton of points, but that defense is very bad. And then kickers, 13 missed extra points is what I had here this weekend. So they're my loser of the week, which Noah touched on as well. All right, first game of the week. Probably my second favorite game. My favorite game is the one we'll talk about next. Los Angeles Chargers going to Baltimore. Baltimore's a 3-point favorite. Over-under is 51.5. No, you're obviously going to lead this one off.
Yeah, so I said last week that it was disrespectful that the Chargers were only favored by 2, and I think that line ended up switching by Sunday. It is entirely disrespectful that the Ravens are favored in this game. I cannot believe the Ravens are favored in this game. I know they had a very emotional win, and Vegas is kind of liking them right now, but the Chargers are a top 3 team in the NFL. That's what they are. It's in LA. They're going to clean house with
this. Not in LA.
It's not in LA.
It's in Baltimore.
I'm still.
That was my point. So keep going.
I'm still hammering the Chargers with the points. I'll probably take a money line as well. the Chargers are winning this game. You can give me all you want about the letdown. I think the Ravens are a very fraudulent 4-1 team. They're good. They're not a 4-1 team. I know that the saying goes, you are what your record is. The Ravens are not a very good 4-1 team. Chargers are.
Teddy, I have a feeling
That
you'll
hurts
be on the
Noah.
other side of this one.
Yeah, I'm completely on the other side.
Okay,
I
this is
love the
good.
Ravens. -3. I wish it could go like -4, 4.5. I'd still take it.
Ooh.
1 p.m. on the East Coast. Was it 10 a.m. Charger
It
time?
is. Yep.
I don't think they're gonna wake up.
Fresh off your
I
morning
mean,
coffee.
both had great games. Both had very tough games. Emotional wins. I love the Ravens. Chargers don't have a great run defense, and I think Lamar having that threat to be able to run the ball, but also Baker Mayfield threw all over them. Why can't Lamar? He's proven it. He's going to do it. I think this is easily an over 51.5. Ravens get up a lot early, and the Chargers come back. Not enough though, but they're going to be down 10, 14 points, and I don't think they're ever going to come back to get within 3. I love the Ravens and the over.
The whole
Okay.
thing with that the Browns Chargers last week is the Browns had a stellar defense. They still have a stellar defense. It's just sometimes you get locked into those games where it's just everybody scoring points left and right. And sometimes that happens. I don't see the Ravens putting up nearly the same offensive performance that the Browns had against the Chargers.
I do.
I'm with Noah. I have already bet the Chargers. I got the hook with it too, so I have them +3.5. I just think the Chargers are a better team. There's not. I don't really see. The one thing I'm concerned about is everyone's on the Chargers, so it's a little concerning to me. I feel like I'm walking into a trap, but I feel very comfortable with the Chargers because I think they can win the game outright. I'm very concerned about all of Baltimore's injuries all over the board. I think they got really lucky against the Colts that the Colts just aren't good enough. So I want to take that. I don't think the 1 p.m. thing kind of scares me.
It should.
But I don't see like a letdown or anything. This is you're battling for home field advantage in the playoffs. So they have all the motivation.
And I know John Harbaugh is a very seasoned coach, a very well-respected coach, but Brandon Staley is one of my favorite coaches in the NFL already. He's only, 5 weeks in. Just the way he holds himself, the way he talks in the pressers, he's just a guy that the team so clearly can get behind. He's just he's I don't even know how to describe him. He's very mellow-mannered. He's got huge fucking testicles hanging between his legs. Like his decisions just to go for it all the goddamn time. It's incredible because you don't really see this, with rookie defensive-minded head coaches. Like the craze of the last few years has been, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, all these like offensive gurus. But the Chargers were able to give the reins over to the defensive-minded guy, a very smart defensive coach, and he's handled himself brilliantly. I really like Brandon Staley and what he's doing over there.
I agree.
I think he's going to put him in a pretzel, having a QB spy on Lamar and then threading the needle in the middle of the field. I can't wait for it.
It's going to be a great game.
It will be a great game. So we get that at 1. At 4, we get the undefeated Arizona Cardinals going to the dog pound in Cleveland. The over-under is 50. Arizona coming off a huge division win. Teddy, will start with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I've been all over Cleveland for most of the season, and I do like them again. I don't know why they're favored. I feel like this game's kind of more of a pick 'em. I'm still leaning towards the Browns to cover. I just think at some point, I mean, the Browns have been these just wild games, tough games against good teams. I feel like they're finally going to pull one of these out. So I think it just comes down to it's time to win, and they're running out of games like to prove themselves to be a solid contender in the playoffs. So I'm going to take Cleveland. I mean, Arizona's had a little bit of I guess the San Fran game wasn't too much to really do, but I'm going to go with Cleveland. I don't want to touch the over under. It could go 30 points or it could go to like 60. I have no clue, so I'm not touching it.
Yep. Yeah, I can't tell Browns overs or unders. I can't judge a Browns total. They don't make any sense.
Not a chance.
Noah?
I really like the Browns in this spot. The Cardinals aren't going to go undefeated. They're going to lose a game at some point. They won 5 in a row. I feel like this is a game that they could very easily lose, and the Browns could win. Browns are 3-2. I've been saying all year that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I really can't see them going 500 right now because they are that good. I think they're going to be really hungry for a win this week. 4-2 looks a lot better than 3-3. And like I said, the Cardinals, they're just in a spot where at some point they got to lose. And I think this is a huge spot for them to find that first loss. Over under, I kind of like the over here. The Browns score a lot. I know the Cardinals had a bit of a tough week offensively last week, and I could just see him having a big bounce back week on the offensive side of the ball. I'm with Teddy. I'm probably not going to touch it, but I do like the over more than the under here.
I'm with you guys. I love this game and I love the Cleveland Browns. The one thing that, so Teddy had mentioned this. Well, you guys have both mentioned this. Cardinals undefeated. Cleveland needs this game more at 3-2. They have to keep pace with the Ravens. They have to keep pace with the Bengals now, who are they're 3-2, and they have a tough one in Detroit. But maybe they're going to get to 4-2, and the Steelers have a Seahawks team where they can get their third win. So things can get really ugly for the Browns if they don't win. My one note from this game of why I love this matchup: the Arizona Cardinals are 28th in rush defense, and the Cleveland Browns have the best rushing attack in the NFL. I think I think that's a huge mismatch, and they'll roll through. It'll maybe like a 7-point win somewhere in that area. But yeah, and this is their first home. They went Minnesota, LA, first game back home in a while. So love the spot for Cleveland.
All right.
Next game, Green Bay Packers going to Chicago, the oldest rivalry in the NFL. The Chicago Bears coming off a huge win in Las Vegas. Green Bay coming off an emotional win or a really weird win in Cincinnati. The Bears are plus 4.5 and the over-under is 45. Noah, how do you see this game?
I really like the Packers here. I know it's in Chicago, but I've been saying I think people are still a little hesitant on the Packers. I think they're kind of coming around to it after that week 1 blowout against the Saints. And I think they're finally realizing that they're still the Packers. But 4.5, I know it's a divisional game, but I see the Packers winning this one pretty handily. It's Justin Fields' first game against the Packers, his first game against this, historic rival. And I think it's just going to be tough for him to handle the moment. I know he's not your typical rookie where, Zach Wilson just kind of looks scared sometimes. I think he's more mature than a typical rookie. But again, I just think the moment's going to be a little too big for him. So I do like the Packers here. That offensive attack between Adams, Jones, and Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. I think the Packers cover pretty easily here. Over under, I kind of like the over. The Packers could put up some points. It's only at 45. It's not a whole lot. And the Bears offense is better since Justin Fields has taken over. So I don't hate the over here.
Teddy, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards the Packers. Noah kind of alluded to it, like Justin Fields, first divisional game against the Packers. It's a big stakes. You're going against Aaron Rodgers. Like, no matter what you can do on offense, he can still score points in 25 seconds, which is unbelievable. I can't see Chicago even going up more than like a point or two. So, if it comes down to it and it's like a late night or a late, 3-4 minutes left, Rodgers with the ball, I easily see them going down and scoring a touchdown, closing the game out. And the 4.5 doesn't really scare me too much. So I'll lean towards the Packers there. The over-under, it's kind of difficult. I think I'm going to stay away from it. If I had to lean towards it, it's probably the over just because 45 is so low. So, I'm just pretty much what it's going to be. The Packers cover at 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with you guys again. Green Bay has covered 17 of their last 19 against the Bears. So I'm going Green Bay. I still don't think the Bears are good. Like, I don't care that they beat the Raiders, and I think they got the Raiders in a John Gruden spot. Like, I think the Raiders all were out on Gruden after Friday, and I think that we'll talk about this in the next game, what I think about the Raiders this coming week, but I think that's a huge piece that's being missed with Chicago. And yeah, I'll take the Packers again. With they'll cover 18 of the last 20 against Chicago.
Yeah, for Fields to put two wins together against the Raiders, which are they're a solid, decent football team, then the Packers, a divisional game. It's just I can't see it putting those two games and two wins together.
So the next game, the Las Vegas Raiders going to Denver. Denver is -3.5. The over/under is 45.5. AFC West battle. So this is both teams I think have lost 2 straight, right? So this is huge make or break for one of these teams here. So Teddy, we'll start with you in the Mile High City of Denver.
Yeah, I really like Denver here, -3.5. I mean, yeah, they both had pretty bad losses. I mean, Chicago for Las Vegas and then Pittsburgh. No one really knows what Pittsburgh is. I mean, Denver at home, it's going to obviously lean towards picking them. And there's just a lot of chaos with the Raiders. I think just everyone wants the Raiders to be so damn good because when the Raiders are back, football is so much better. And it just seems like this season has now come to a halt with the Gruden. Sorry, I just got a phone call. With Gruden out, it seems a little bit chaos in the locker room. Who is their coach?
Rich Bisaccia. He was the special teams coordinator.
Yeah, so he means nothing. He's not going to do anything. He has nothing. He's like, oh, I have to put an offense together. I have no clue.
Oh, so. Booger McFarland said he's a foxhole guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to Wednesday's PMT, he was like, if I had to go around the NFL and pick people for my foxhole, Rich Bisaccia would be on the list.
Well, good for him. It's not going to live a mile high.
Okay,
a foxhole. It's not all the way up here, mile high up. So I'm loving Denver. The over/under. I'll take the under. I think it's a low scoring game, and Denver pulls out and covers.
No, what do you think?
I like the Raiders. Obviously the whole thing with John Gruden was a mess, but I think that really more so affected them last weekend before all this came out. Because if you remember, there was like one email that came out and it was kind of just like hovering over them, and it was a little bit of uncertainty. It was a bit of a distraction, and I think that definitely hurt him against the Bears. I think the team was a little out on Gruden at that point. The fact that he's gone, and Chuck, I did listen to Wednesday's PMT. Rich Bisaccia seems like a guy that a team will rally around. Just seeing, I've seen a couple clips of him, the way he talks, the way he holds himself. He seems like a football guy. And I think something like this is, a team's got to shrug it off and kind of use it as motivation and really rally behind their new leader. And I think this is a situation where people are going to think like Teddy, and nothing wrong with that. It's a huge fucking debacle, that whole situation. But like I said, these are adults. They're not kids. I think they're going to use it and rally behind it and get behind a new leader. It's not like the whole Urban Meyer situation where he's still the coach. And it was like a situation where he pretty much just left his team hanging out to dry. I think that was a little bit different. Yeah, so I like the Raiders. I'll take the points here. I do like the under. The Broncos are very much a fraudulent team. I think last week kind of was a nail on the hammer. Who'd they play? The Steelers, correct?
Yep.
Steelers are not a good team. I know they're 3-2, 2-3.
2-3 now.
2-3.
Yeah.
They're not a good team. Their offense is not very good, but they look good against the Broncos, and the Broncos were supposed to have a stout defense. I think those 3 wins coming against those awful teams at the beginning of the season are really inflating their win-losses right now, and I don't think they're as good as the record shows, so I'll take the Raiders and the points.
I agree with everything Noah just said. There's a big rally game for the Raiders. They're all going to come together. There's a big moment for them. They seem to like – Rich Bisaccia seems like the type of coach that they're, like you said, they're going to rally around. I think they're a more talented team than the Broncos. I don't know if they'll win, but at 3.5, I think I feel more comfortable with that than laying 3.5 in this game with the Broncos. Things get a little weird in Mile High sometimes, and Teddy Bridgewater just covers spreads, but I'll take the Raiders on this one. Last game, Buffalo at Tennessee. What else is there to say about the Buffalo Bills, that hasn't already been said. They're looking like the best team in the NFL, possibly. And they're going to Tennessee. Tennessee is plus 5.5. The over-under is 54. Nella, walk me through this one.
I like Buffalo. I do. And it's, as far as this game goes, it's not that I think, Buffalo is really, really good, which they are, but it's the Titans just don't look as good as they have in the past years. I know they won last week, but they played the Jaguars. Like that was not a difficult win. Their passing attack, for adding Julio Jones and AJ Brown emerging as, what he was supposed to be, one of the top receivers. I know Julio hasn't been out on the field the last couple of weeks, but even when he was, their passing attack was stale. And I don't know if this is just Arthur Smith leaving or, people figuring out Ryan Tannehill. But that offense relies heavily on Derrick Henry, which it should. He's very good. But their passing attack's not what it was the last couple of years. It's not as efficient. And the Bills have one of the best defenses in the league. I think if they can bottle up Derrick Henry for just a meager 100 yards and 1 touchdown, I think they'll come out with a hefty size win. So I like the Bills minus 5.5, over under 54. I like the under. I know the Bills are a scoring machine, but I just don't trust the Titans to put enough points up on the board for this one.
Taddy.
I don't know. I really want to take Buffalo, but I just feel like it's going to be one of those games again for Buffalo, and we're going to look at the end of the season, like how do they lose to the Steelers and Tennessee? I'm not going to say they're going to win outright Tennessee, but I feel like they're going to be within close proximity of maybe sniffing a win here. It's going to be like a last second field goal or something like that. I'm not saying it's going to be a letdown game. I really don't know what to think about it, but I just feel like it's going to be one of those odd games. Tennessee is just a hard team to read. Noah kind of said like their passing game's stale. I do agree with that, but for some reason I love that 5.5 line for Tennessee, so I'm going to be taking that. The over under. I do like the under here. Just for Tennessee to even be close to covering, it's got to stay under the total for me.
Yeah, I am leaning Tennessee as well. It feels like this game in a weird way will tell me more about Buffalo than the Chiefs game. This feels like a letdown incoming Monday Night Football at Tennessee primetime game. Feels like a letdown after they just slayed their dragon in Kansas City. They've been trying to beat that team for so long. Well, over like the past year, 2 years, finally did it. It's so easy to just go in thinking that you can beat everybody. And then there's a lot of talent on Tennessee. They're very feast or famine. It's which Tennessee Titans team are you going to get? I think Tennessee is going to play them very competitively, maybe even win the game. And I think that Buffalo will get all of the public betting. Everyone's going to be on the Bills after last week, and then the Titans will surprise them. So it's kind of where I'm thinking right now. And hopefully it gets to 6 or 7, and then I'm definitely taking it 100%. All right, cards. Teddy, if you wanted to start, you can do your dog and everything except save your lock.
Yeah,
can you guys see the clock, or is that just me?
No, I can see it.
You can see. Okay, just be cognizant of it.
Oh yeah. I'll take the Ravens -3, Cleveland -2.5. I'll take Denver -3.5. My dog of the week is going to be Tennessee, actually, at +5.5. I do like that. It's a good number, and hopefully it goes up a little bit, so I might wait on that. I will be taking the under in the Seattle-Pittsburgh game. I just think it's a fart of a game. Russell Wilson's out. Steelers, who the hell knows who they are. I just think it's one of those ugly games no one really wants to watch.
That's a get to bed early. We got work on Monday type game. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for one of these just crapshoots of a game on a primetime schedule late night. So I can't wait to get that early on that. So should I say my lock, or should we do it right now?
You can. You can do your lock. Sure.
Lock of the week: Kansas City Chiefs. They were going to murder the football team. The Sean Taylor thing, the chaos, there's something looming in the locker room. So, I mean, I feel like the players in that organization probably knows a little bit more what's going on. I think it's trying to fault, but Kansas City's going to come in and roll.
What is it? 6.5.
Inside the football number. I love it even more.
I'm adding that for sure. No.
Yeah, so to start it off, I got the Jags versus Miami. I can actually just smell Trevor Lawrence's first win of his career.
I'm excited to watch that with you at 9:30 now. Now that you're gonna bet it.
So I got Jags +3. My lines might be a little different. I think this caught a couple days ago.
That's fine.
Packers -4.5 at Chicago, like we spoke. I have Browns -3 versus Arizona. I think we said 2.5 earlier. Like I said, lines are different. Almost my lock of the week was Cowboys -3.5 at New England. I can smell a little bit of a trap in the air here. So I still like it a lot, but it's not going to be a lock. Steelers -4.5 for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to be hurting for the next couple of weeks without Russell Wilson. I think they can still win some games. But against the Steelers defense like this, like I said, I don't think the Steelers are very good, but I think they can handle a Russell Wilson-less Seahawks team. -4.5. I'm back on my Cardinals overs this week. 49.5. I have it at, might be 50, but I can see that going well over against the Browns. And then this is not my dog of the week, but this is something that I want to throw in there, and I think I'm going to take. But I like Texans +10 at Indianapolis. Chuck, I know you like them. What, +17.5 versus the Bills a few weeks ago?
I did.
Carson Wentz is one of those
They lost by
quarterbacks.
40.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is one of those quarterbacks, and I think the Colts will win this game. Carson Wentz is one of those quarterbacks that figures out how to make every single game he plays an ass clencher. The Texans are going to lose, but they might lose by 7. They might lose by 8. They might lose by 9, but I think they're going to cover +10 against Carson Wentz. My dog of the week is the Raiders +3.5 for all the reasons we spoke about earlier. And my lock, my San Diego Superchargers +3.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, so a couple of these we already talked about. LA Chargers +3.5, Green Bay -4.5. I've already bet both of those. Tennessee +5.5. Las Vegas Raiders +3.5. I've added Kansas City Chiefs -6.5. My dog of the week's the New England Patriots. This game is so fishy. I don't believe in the Patriots, but Vegas is begging you to take the Cowboys.
I know. I'm falling for it.
It just seems way too easy to take the Cowboys. I have to take the Patriots. Like I have to do what Vegas is telling me, and if I lose, I lose. This is definitely one of those, like, when you're talking to people who may not sports bet or just getting into it, and you tell them, "Oh, I like the Patriots." This is one of those, like, idiot or genius games. You're either going to look like the biggest moron ever at the end of the game, or you'll look like the smartest person of all time. So that's what this game is. Love the Patriots. And then my lock of the week's Cleveland. Love Cleveland. Dog pound.
I do like
Cleveland. Pound. Let's go.
Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to wrap up from last week, maybe that we hadn't touched on? Anything else that any matchups that maybe you're looking forward to this week? Any other predictions or kind of?
I just wanted to be noted. I know you said I was on fire, but my record over the last 2 weeks is 13-4-1. So let me help you make money. To the people out there, to the fans of Chuck's chat, let me help you win money.
Okay.
So you're due for a bad week then.
No, we're riding. I'm gonna be hitting 70% by the end of the year. Probably not, but that's the goal.
All right, that's fair. The one thing I don't get is the Cincy and Detroit line. I don't know how it's 3.5. I just generally don't understand that. I don't know what Vegas knows. I was gonna put that in my card, but one of those games I just don't know. So I'm excited to see. I'm hoping they get a win.
That one felt like a huge trap game. I wanted to stay away from it because obviously Lions are 0-5, but it's in Detroit. They're coming off a brutal way to lose at the end of last week. And the Lions just play hard. They're not a good team, but they play hard. I could see the Bengals winning, but I could see them winning by 3. So
I just want the Lions to win before they play the Eagles, so we're not the first team to lose to them.
Agreed. I agree.
I like the Bengals. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they could be in the conversation for a while this year. But this is one of those games where I think that, the Lions could pull a win out of their ass somehow, and just kind of like everybody kind of comes back to the earth on the Bengals and realize they're not that good of a team.
I feel like next week we should have a debate whether what conference is stronger, the NFC or AFC. I mean, I feel like for years it's
Sure.
always been the NFC, but I mean, there's a lot of emerging teams in the AFC that have solid foundations, solid football teams. So I think that's something we could talk about next week as this week progresses.
I like
Works for
that.
me. Works for me. Yeah. Also, another like game thing. I definitely agree on the Lions and Bengals. I don't understand the Vikings at all. They make no sense to me. I feel like they could lose to every single team in the NFL, but also beat every team in the NFL. They don't make any sense. So I have no idea what to think when I see their spreads.
I know earlier I was saying Cardinals and Vikings overs, but I'm losing faith in my Vikings there. I still like the Cardinals. I'm back on it this week, but I got to see a couple more weeks out of the Vikings before I hop back on their overs.
Yeah. So, all right, that's been the NFL show. I know the Eagles Bucks have just kicked off. The Buccaneers are in the red zone. It's 6-0.
Just scored.
I will-
And
Who
we stink.
scored?
One last thing before we go,
OJ Howard. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Roll.
I will be in attendance at MetLife Stadium to see the Rams kick the living shit out of the Giants this week. I'll be back next week with a thorough review of MetLife Stadium.
I heard it's great. I only heard great things about it.
Yeah, and then
As a
me and
football guy.
me and Teddy will be there for Army Navy.
Yes.
All right.
I can't wait to give a recap
Yes.
of that.
Army Navy. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's the show.